So I got something in the post this morning. It's a new menstrual cup from Lynette, which I needed because I somehow lost my last menstrual cup. I don't know where the heck it's gone. It's in this bedroom somewhere, but I'd had it for about 2 years. I think the last time I bought a menstrual cup was before I went to summer camp in 2015. So, I mean, I took it overseas. It had a good life, but now I've lost it. So this is its replacement. So I thought we would open it together, and I know I've already done a video on why I use these instead of tampons or pads. So you can check that one out if you want all of the good reasoning behind why I use these instead of other options. But I thought I'd show you my new option and just reiterate how I use it, when I use it, why I use it. Let's unbox it. So, I mean, to start with, probably should have shown you this before I unboxed it. It's from Lynette, and it's their number 2, so it's for women who have had intercourse. So if you've had sex before, people who have had babies before, basically if you have a wider, I want to say a wider set vagina, but that's probably not what I'm meaning to say. So here it is. It comes in this little cute packaging here, and it's yellow because my favourite colour is yellow. Who wouldn't want to celebrate the time of the month with their favourite colour menstrual cup? Really. Ooh. And you can put it in this little bag here that it's come with. This is so cute. And no one would even know what this is. You know, like this, it's just not necessary to be embarrassed about it. Not that you should be embarrassed about it anyway, but I know that some girls are, just because it's not what everybody else is using. But I mean, honestly, there are so many reasons to use a menstrual cup instead of tampons or pads. And if you are worried about it, it comes with a cute little bag that you can put it in to be super discreet, which is awesome. You can just keep it where you keep your pads and your tampons. It is BPA free. It's not made of latex, so if you're allergic to latex, it's perfectly safe for you guys. It's vegan, of course. What else would it be? So, Model 2 is for a normal to heavy flow. Now, I have a pretty light flow, generally, but it did say on the website it's for people that have had sex or have had children before. There's another reason why I use these. They're so convenient. So, I know that no matter what, I'm not going to run out of them. It's not like tampons, I'm not going to run out. I'm not going to run out of pads. I always have it. And as long as I look after it and I clean it, these can last for years. You can sleep in them. You're not meant to sleep in tampons. They're not really meant to be in for an extended period of time. But these guys, as long as you're cleaning them kind of routinely and looking after them, you can leave them in for up to 12 hours. If you have a heavy flow, then you might need to empty them before the 12-hour mark, but I've never had any issues with that. I just leave it in and I sleep in it. I haven't had any issues, no leakage or anything, so that's awesome. A few people have had trouble, or have told me they've had trouble, getting it in them. So obviously they're a bit bigger than tampons, but they're really squishy. They're made out of something. What are they made out of? I don't know. Not latex, that's what they're made out of. I don't know. But they're super squishy. Oh no, silicone. They're made out of medical grade silicone. Alright. And literally what I do is I just push the side. Oh. Easy, I promise. Yeah, push the side until it comes into kind of like this C shape here. And then you just insert it like you would a tampon. So it's not really a big deal. Might take a couple of goes just to get used to it, because obviously once it goes in you, it's going to expand. So you need to get it into the right spot before you let it go and it expands. So it took me a couple of goes to learn, but it's fine. And to get it out, there's just this string here like there is on a tampon, and you just pull it and out it comes, alright? But obviously you need to be aware that there's blood in there. So another issue that I've heard people having with these is, well, what the hell do I do with it if I'm in a public place, in a public bathroom, and the sink isn't inside my bathroom? So there's a sink outside, it's a public sink, and you can't get to it without kind of parading your bloodied menstrual cup out in public. So if I'm at home, obviously when I take it out, you tip the blood down the toilet, you can flush it, it's fine, it'll all go away, and then I'll rinse it. But if I'm in public, I can't really rinse it. So the thing to do is you just empty it, blood's not going to go around the outside unless you're kind of sloshing it around. The blood's going to stay on the inside or in the toilet, and none is going to be in here. And then what you do is you just fold it up and you put it back up there, alright? And then when you get home that night, or when you get somewhere where you have enough privacy and you feel comfortable enough to wash this baby out just with some warm water, that's what you do. You just empty it and wash it out then. You're not going to get sick by putting your own menstrual blood back inside of you, okay? It's not an issue. Your body can deal with bacteria. It says in this pamphlet here, because I've already had a read of it, that you need to be washing it in between uses. So obviously you do a deep wash before the start of your period, and then you do a deep wash once your period has ended, and then in between you just kind of rinse it with some warm water. It's saying on here to use soap. Now, I mean, to start with, I don't use anything on my body that I wouldn't eat. So I don't wash my face with anything that has chemicals in it. I just use bicarb soda. But I definitely wouldn't be putting alcohol. I wouldn't be putting hand sanitizer. I wouldn't be putting soap. I wouldn't be putting anything in there that you wouldn't think, wow, yeah, I could totally eat that and be absolutely fine. Just because your vagina is, I mean, your body overall absorbs things so well, but your vagina, because the skin inside there is so thin, it absorbs everything really, really quickly. So if you've put hand sanitizer on here, you know, like instant alcohol cleaning stuff, or soap, the residue is still going to be on there. So when you put it back inside your vagina, your body is going to literally leach all of those chemicals and absorb them into your bloodstream, which is awful. You don't need that in your body. You know, this is your temple. You need to look after it. You need to respect it. And in my opinion, putting those chemicals into it is doing the complete opposite of that. So what I would do instead, I soak mine, if I'm doing a deep clean, I boil some water in my kettle, put it in a bowl, stick this baby in there and let it boil for 20 minutes. Sometimes I add some bicarb soda, some vinegar maybe, just like kind of sterilizing antibacterial stuff. But seriously guys, your body can deal with so much. You know, we've kind of become a society overall that's a little bit scared of bacteria and scared of germs. So obviously be sensible if you're going to put something inside of you. You know, it's smart to clean it, but you're not going to die if it's got some bacteria on you. You're not even going to get sick. You're going to be okay. So just use hot water, bicarb soda, vinegar, whatever, lemon juice, things that you would be okay putting inside your body normally. When you wash it, it's got these little holes here. I'm not sure if you can see them. There's holes all around the edge, and basically they make sure that when you've got this guy inside of you, it's not going to act like a suction cup and you'll be walking around all day feeling like your insides are being pulled out. So when you give it a wash, it's really important to make sure that those holes are empty. They don't have blood or gunk or anything trapped in them, so you kind of sometimes need to get up in there. This is not for people who are worried about bodily fluids, because you're going to be getting up close and personal with them, looking at them. They're going to be near you. They're going to be on your hands, potentially. But I mean, really, it's your vaginal fluid. It's your vaginal fluid and it's your blood. And in my opinion, that doesn't worry me. It doesn't worry me. I don't really care. And I don't really think it's anything that needs to be worried about. It came from in you. It's going to be okay to go back in. It's going to be okay if you get some on your hands. It's not gross. It's perfectly natural. It's perfectly normal. And I mean, really, I can say that not only am I looking after my body by using this, I'm not tearing my vagina, but I'm not or putting bleach, you know, potentially up inside my vagina. Again, it's all in my other video. If you want to go and have a look at that, I'll chuck a link in above somewhere. But you're also not contributing to a wasteful society. You're not contributing to throwing out the thousands of tampons that women go through in their lives. You're not contributing to plastic wrapping. There is no plastic, all right? It's just the one thing that you're using, and if you look after it, it will last for years. You're not contributing to potentially not paying people enough. So the people that grow cotton, that makes tampons, that makes pads, whether they're being paid a fair wage or not, you don't even need to worry about whether they're getting paid a fair wage or not, and whether you're contributing to them potentially not being paid that wage, because you're not joining in on paying for that, or not paying enough for that. You know, you're just choosing to completely avoid that, which is fantastic in my opinion. Less landfill, human rights. It's completely vegan. It's safe for your body. It's not going to tear any of your vaginal fibers. It's not going to hurt you. There's no bleach in it. It's not toxic. Your body is going to be completely safe chucking this guy in you compared to the other options that you have for managing periods. This is also a fantastic option if you're going to donate, if you have the money. This one did cost me about $60, which makes it worth it when you think about a pack of organic tampons at the moment where I live, in Australia, costs about $10. So if you think about that, I paid $60 for this. If I'm using one pack of tampons per cycle, that's 6 months worth of tampons that I've paid for in this fella. And this guy could last me up to 10 years. They can last up to 10 years if you look after them well. Probably more, but I don't know if I'd want to use mine for 10 years, just because I travel a lot and my sense of hygiene sometimes is low when I travel. But yeah, if you're a person that can look after yourself and look after this guy well, then yeah, could potentially last a really long time. So you're saving yourself money in the long run. And if you have the money to be able to donate items like these to women's shelters, to women's benefit, you know, women's needs things, because a lack of hygiene, especially during period, is something a lot of women's shelters struggle with, because tampons and pads are really expensive. And they're throwaway items, they're not reusable. This guy is. If you could provide a menstrual cup to a woman in need, who potentially wouldn't have the money for tampons every month, that's fantastic. They can look after this guy, you know, if they look after him well. If they look after him badly, he'll last maybe a couple of years, you know. I mean, I didn't look after mine very well, and mine was still going great, but I've lost it. How do you even lose a menstrual cup? Oh my god. But they last a couple of years. If you look after them really well, they can last 10 beyond, you know. It's just such a fantastic thing that you could potentially be donating to helping another woman's life. So if you have the funds, I know they're quite expensive, but they're definitely worth donating if you do have the money. Alright, so I hope that this video has taught you something about what a menstrual cup is and why I use it, why I think you should use it. Just remember, guys, that you only get one body, and the way that you choose to look after yourself often affects the world and the people around you, you know? So by looking after your own body and choosing to use really high-grade medical products when, you know, we have a period every month, you got to use something good for it. You got to look after yourself. And by using this, you are affecting people, you know, people's salaries, potentially, you know, the income that they're going to make. You're paying for a better world. You're paying for a vegan world, and you're also not contributing to landfill. You know, not anywhere even close to the amount that someone who uses tampons that are covered in plastic, potentially plastic applicators, not to mention the tampons themselves, the pads themselves that are lined with plastic. You know, seriously, by using this guy, you are affecting so many different aspects of the planet and yourself, which is fantastic. And I 100% do not see any downsides to using this other than, you know, the tricky part of figuring out how the heck you get it inside you. But I promise that gets so easy. That comes so naturally. You just gotta kind of play around it, like the origami art of folding it all up. For the people, for the planet, for the animals, for you, it's a good choice. Think about it. I'll link where I got my one from, my menstrual cup from, below. I'll link the organic tampon companies that I use, just in case that is 100% the choice that you want to make. You want to use tampons. I'll also link the size that I got, like the exact model that I use, and my other video on why extensively I use a menstrual cup instead of tampons, if you are interested in that. Alrighty. Thanks, guys. See you later.